Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fourth SandCast. It's been a relatively short time since the last one, so yay! I am MagmarFire, and that's. I guess I'm the only person.
That's our cast.
I guess I'm the only person.
All right, yeah, that's MagmarFire. I am Shikamaru Nara, or Lord Jackal, or Super Beaner, and the third person.
And I am kamakaziplumber.
And with us, we have a special guest of YouTube fame,
pizzadudemanguy. Welcome to the SandCast. Welcome. We're glad to have you.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're very glad to have you, and we do know quite a bit about your Smash prowess and your love for it, and we may actually get around to actually talking about your perspective about the next Smash game and all that jazz. That would be really sweet. We were actually planning on doing that for like the last episode, but sadly you were busy with the other project that we can't talk about right now because it's a secret to everybody.
We've actually already officially announced it, so I guess you can say what it is. It's just not really coming out soon.
True. True. Well, okay, it's a Phoenix Wright project. So I'll just get that out of the way right now. So, but yeah. All right. So we have a little bit on our plate today. It's not a whole lot. So let's get started. Let's just pull on right through. So first order of business. We have some interesting news from Miyamoto. He's said that to his developers developing Skyward Sword that if Skyward Sword isn't like quote unquote the best gosh darn Zelda game out or to date when it comes out, then we may not see another Zelda game for a while. Quite a few people were actually quite panicked about that, and for a good reason, because come on, this is Zelda we're talking about. And Zelda goes under quite long hiatuses as it is. The DS games notwithstanding, even though I have no hate against those. So, what do you guys think about it? I can only imagine that you guys have something to talk about, because this is actually pretty big stuff. So discuss away.
Well, I definitely don't really want to see him go on a hiatus, but at the same time, I doubt that the game's not going to be very good in the first place. I mean, when it comes to figuring out if it's the best game of all, the best Zelda game yet, Twilight Princess kind of got a perfect 10, so I don't really see how they're going to judge it. I'm guessing they're just going to go by sales, but...
Yeah, but to be honest, Miyamoto actually did express disappointment towards Twilight Princess's sales, and as we all know, Twilight Princess was actually like maybe the second most, or actually maybe not the second most, but it sold a lot of copies, like over maybe, 6 million units. So...
Well, but it was also a Wii launch title, pretty much. I wouldn't have gotten it if I hadn't been buying it. Well, I would have gotten it, sorry. But I wouldn't have gotten it on day one if I hadn't also been buying a Wii on day one. I probably would have, actually. But still.
Well, that is true. That is true.
Where are his standards? If he was disappointed in how Twilight Princess did when it got a perfect 10, and, it got a lot of praise from, people who haven't been with the series very long, who didn't complain about it not being hard. And everybody else, loved it except for the fact that it was easy, but...
Yeah.
Why would he be disappointed in that?
Well, according to him, it was like... Well, first and foremost, it was back in the time when there were a lot of Wii shortages, so a lot of people who wanted to play Twilight Princess couldn't find a Wii, even though there was the nice pre-generation alternative, which we'd all like to call the GameCube. But he also thought that it was because that he thought that there were a lot of people who just weren't interested in playing Zelda. We're interested in playing a large adventure game like Zelda. So I was thinking, Ray, is he serious? Well, I wouldn't doubt. He'd probably know a lot more about the market than we would, since I guess he makes a lot of bigwig decisions. So it really wouldn't surprise me. But still, it's like, Zelda, Twilight Princess was one of the most best-selling Zelda games ever, and Phantom
Yeah,
Hourglass.
it's one of their biggest franchises. It's been making them a lot of money. It's been getting consistently high, scores. I don't know if there's a single Zelda game that's been panned. Not even close. The closest thing maybe being Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah, but Phantom Hourglass I still thought was good. It's my least favorite Zelda game. I'm gonna get that out of the way, but it was still a worthy sequel. I thought it was.
Yeah.
It was easy, and the soundtrack was lazy. But other than that, it was good. And it was like packing the Wind Waker into a small package, which I commend them for. It's really good. It's like how I felt with Ocarina of Time 3D.
Yeah, I was excited.
I think he might just be one of those Asian parents with really high standards.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. And also, as many of us may or may not know, Zelda really isn't as popular in Japan as it is in the U.S. It's actually not. Probably not nearly as popular as the likes of I don't know off the top of my head, but I mean, well, Pokemon obviously, but of course that's just a given. But yeah, it's like he may have just been disappointed in Japan sales. I don't know, but.
So is he going strictly off of Japan then? Because if that's...
I have no idea personally. I'm thinking it's maybe overall sales, which would it's kind of strange because Ocarina of Time originally, or the first version of Ocarina of Time sold 7 million units, and Twilight Princess sold I don't remember 6 million units. Then that's actually quite a small margin in comparison to I don't know, Minish Cap, which only sold I don't know. I'm willing to bet over only a few 100,000. That's actually a much huger difference, and yet,
So now he didn't say he was going to end the series as a whole. He simply said that he's going to be on a hiatus for a while.
It's up for debate. A lot of people interpreted it as saying that he would end the Zelda series, which I believe he actually did entertain the idea with when the Wind Waker came out, because apparently the Wind Waker had really bad sales in Japan, really bad. And this would be the first time that he seemed to have been entertaining the idea since the Wind Waker, which would be 8 years ago. Okay,
I honestly doubt that anything would happen.
Yeah, I doubt it as well. I mean, Zelda may not be as popular or make as much money as Mario, even though that's probably due to spin-offs, or Pokemon, which is because Pokemon's popular. It still makes Nintendo a lot of money, and it's still one of Nintendo's flagship franchises. If you got rid of that, they'd be losing a lot of. They'd just be losing a lot of money.
See, I can't believe that it would happen when they have 2 brand new systems out or slated to be released within the year that need a Zelda game. Both of them. You can't release Skyward Sword and then have a new high-definition Nintendo home console and not release a Zelda game for it. A lot of people who dropped Nintendo because they were upset about the Wii were probably fans of Zelda. I mean, I would say Zelda's, and I hate using this term, but I would say Zelda is Nintendo's most hardcore game as far as its, main series goes.
Metroid.
I wouldn't. Yeah, Metroid. I'd say Metroid's a bit more hardcore.
Metroid is Star Fox.
Metroid's really on the extreme side, though, where that has very, very little popularity in Japan. All of the popularity for Metroid's pretty much in America.
Yeah,
We like
pretty
shooting.
much.
I hadn't thought about Metroid.
Here's another thing, though. Maybe what he means by the series going on hiatus isn't that he's going to stop working on the series as a whole, but maybe they're just going to focus on remaking all the older games in the style that they're doing with Ocarina of Time. Because a lot of people are calling for Majora's Mask already.
Yeah.
You've got the Wii U, which is going to have the video screen controller. They could just be focusing on taking what's already there, that's already critically acclaimed, and giving it a huge update. Instead of making new franchises, maybe they'd rather bank on remaking old games that they know will succeed than taking risks with new installments.
But would a remake of a game that everyone already has succeed more than a brand new Zelda game? I have trouble
I don't know.
believing that.
You tell me, Mags. You got Ocarina of Time 3D, right?
I do. In fact, I do. So
Yeah, but not. Oh,
go ahead, KP.
the rest of us don't.
Sadly.
One out
Most of
of
the
the
rest of us
4
don't
of
have a
us.
3DS, but I know that's the first thing I'm going to buy when I get the 3DS.
I
It's the only
agree with
reason
that.
I want one.
Yeah,
But
if you call yourself a Zelda fan, you're gonna want Ocarina of Time 3D. Sorry, that's a little
Yes.
bit. That's a little okay. That's a little bit presumptuous, I know, but still, it's a big thing. It's Ocarina of Time, one of the most critically acclaimed games of all time, being remade for a handheld. I had that wish before. Like I actually mentioned that on the first SandCast, as some of you may or may not remember. And it turns out that at the next E3, Ocarina of Time 3D was announced, and it was like, holy cow, that's awesome. And it's being remade in 3D, and they added Master Quest and all that stuff. So that's like super awesome. But yeah, still, I mean, I think part of the problem with for a lot of Zelda fans is because maybe a lot of people just don't have a 3DS yet, which makes sense because it's actually really expensive, and supply and demand and all that. If the price is
Incredibly expensive.
yeah, and supply and demand, if the price is high, the demand is going to go down, and especially with this economy, money is kind of a tight issue. So I'm thinking that if Zelda's sales are hurting, or if Ocarina of Time 3D's sales are hurting now, I'm not sure. This is day one, and I haven't really looked at its sales figures yet. But if they are hurting,
do you think what they're doing with the game is worth a remake, though?
so far, it's up in the air for me because, I mean, I'm happy just for it being on a handheld where I can take it with me wherever I go and whenever I feel like playing it on the go, because it's a really awesome game. But so far, I haven't really gotten to a lot of the remake bonuses yet. Like Master Quest, for instance, you have to beat the game in order to unlock it, which personally I wish that they made it unlockable from the get-go, because surely they must have known that there'd be a lot of Zelda veterans playing this, and namely Ocarina of Time veterans as well, who grew up with the game. And if they unlocked it from the get-go, and then we'd have a harder version of it. And personally, I haven't played Master Quest yet. It was kind of a limited edition issue, because it was only for people who pre-ordered the Wind Waker and for people who felt like buying it off eBay or going to GameStop for it.